We tell every hiker the same warnings. Most ignore us. When search and rescue finds them 3 days later, they always say, "I should have listened to the ranger." That's Ranger Tom Wilkins, Olympic National Park, 23 years of service. He's given the same warnings thousands of times. And he's worked 47 search and rescue missions for people who didn't listen. Rangers aren't trying to ruin your trip. They're not being overly cautious or paranoid. Every warning they give you, every single one, comes from experience, from incident reports, from searches that ended badly. Tonight, you're going to hear 5 warnings that rangers give constantly, 5 warnings that hikers ignore constantly, and 5 accounts of what happened when those warnings were proven right. These aren't hypotheticals. These are testimony from rangers who worked the searches. Rangers who found people who said, every single time, the same thing: "I should have listened." Because rangers don't give warnings to assert authority. They give them because they've carried someone off a mountain who didn't listen. And they don't want to carry you. Warning 1. The weather changes fast. Up here. Location: Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. Date: September 2019. Ranger: Maria Santos. 15 years service. The warning: the weather changes fast up here. If you're summiting after 11 a.m., you're risking afternoon lightning. Turn around by noon, regardless of how close you are to the top. Maria's account: I give this warning every single morning at the trailhead. Every single morning, especially for Long's Peak. 14,000-foot summit, completely exposed above tree line. Afternoon thunderstorms are predictable. They form between 1 and 3 p.m. almost every day in summer. On September 14, 2019, I briefed a group of 4 hikers at 5 a.m., 2 men, 2 women, all in their 30s, experienced, good gear. They'd done 14ers before. I told them, you need to be off the summit by noon. Weather is forecast to turn at 1 p.m. If you're not at the keyhole by 11 a.m., turn around. Do not attempt the summit. The guy leading the group, Mark, laughed. We've done Rainier. We know how to handle weather. I said, I'm sure you do, but altitude lightning is different. There's no shelter above tree line. If you get caught, you're exposed. Turn around by noon. He waved me off. We'll be fine. They started at 5:30 a.m. GPS tracker showed good progress. They reached the keyhole, 2 miles from summit, at 10:45 a.m., right on schedule. But then they slowed down. The boulder field above the keyhole is technical, scrambling, slow going. By 11:30 a.m., they were still half a mile from summit. At 12:15 p.m., they summited. I know because Mark posted a photo on Instagram, top of Long's Peak. Perfect weather. At 12:47 p.m., the storm rolled in. I saw it from the ranger station. Black clouds forming fast, lightning, hail, wind gusts hitting 60 miles per hour. At 1:03 p.m., we got the distress call. Mark's voice, barely audible over wind. We're in trouble. Lightning everywhere. Can't move. Near the Narrows. Need help. We dispatched search and rescue immediately. But the storm was too severe. Helicopters couldn't fly. Ground crews couldn't reach them. They had to shelter in place, completely exposed on a rock face, at 14,000 feet, for 3 hours. By the time the storm cleared enough to extract them, 2 of the 4 had hypothermia. 1 had been struck by lightning, not directly but ground current. Severe burns on his legs. Mark had minor frostbite on 3 fingers. When we got them down, they were shaking, crying, traumatized. I saw Mark at the medical tent. He looked at me and said, You told us to turn around by noon. I said, I did. Why didn't we listen? I don't have a good answer to that. Summit fever, maybe. Ego. Belief that bad things happen to other people, not them. All I know is I give that warning every morning. And every season, someone ignores it. And every season, I work at least one rescue where they tell me, I should have listened. The weather changes fast up here. It's not a suggestion, it's a fact. And when you're above tree line with lightning striking every few seconds, you don't get second chances. Mark survived. His friend with the lightning burns? Permanent nerve damage. Can't feel his left foot anymore. That's what happens when you don't take weather warnings seriously. Warning 2. Don't hike alone without telling anyone where you're going. Location: North Cascades National Park, Washington. Date: August 2020. Ranger: Kevin Torres, 12 years service. The warning: don't hike alone without filing a trip plan or telling someone your exact route and return time. If something happens and no one knows where to look, we might not find you. Kevin's account: this one drives me crazy. It's so simple. Just tell someone where you're going. File a trip plan. Send a text. Something. But people don't want to deal with bureaucracy, or they want spontaneous adventure. In August 2020, a solo hiker named Jason Reed came to the North Cascades, 31 years old, fit, experienced. He'd done solo trips all over the West. He didn't file a trip plan at the ranger station, didn't tell anyone his route, didn't leave a note in his car. He just started hiking. We have no idea which trail he took. His car was in the trailhead parking lot for the Cascade Pass area, but there are 6 different trails from that lot. Could be any of them. Jason didn't return after 3 days. His girlfriend in Seattle finally called us when he missed a scheduled phone call. We asked, "Do you know where he was planning to hike?" She said, "He mentioned something about a pass. Maybe Cascade Pass? I'm not sure." Cascade Pass area is 30,000 acres. Multiple trails, dozens of possible routes, side trails, off-trail scrambles. Without knowing his specific plan, we were searching blind. We spent 8 days searching. Helicopters, ground crews, dogs. We covered every major trail in the area. Checked all the established campsites. Nothing. On day 9, a backpacker found Jason's tent at an off-trail location near Sahale Arm, 4 miles from the nearest established trail. Jason was inside, alive, but barely. Broken ankle, severe dehydration, hypothermic. We evacuated him immediately. In the medical tent, he was incoherent at first. When he stabilized enough to talk, he asked, "How long was I out there?" 9 days, I told him. We started searching on day 3. Took us 6 days to find you because we didn't know where you'd gone. Jason started crying. I almost died because I didn't file a trip plan. Yes, I said, you did. He'd fallen while scrambling on day 2, broken his ankle badly enough that he couldn't walk. He was 4 miles from the nearest trail. Completely off any established route. No cell service. No way to call for help. He set off his emergency beacon, but the signal was weak. We got a general location, within a 3-mile radius, but couldn't pinpoint him. And because we didn't know which trail he'd taken, we started searching the wrong areas first. If that backpacker hadn't happened to be exploring Sahale Arm, an uncommon route, Jason would have died. We might never have found his body. The medical team said he was maybe 36 hours from death when we extracted him. 9 days in the wilderness with a broken ankle and no food. He'd been drinking from a nearby stream, but dehydration and exposure were killing him. I visited him in the hospital 2 days later. I said, "I gave you this warning at the trailhead, didn't I? I remember you. You asked about trails, and I said file a plan." Jason nodded. "You did. I thought it was unnecessary. I solo hike all the time. Never had problems." "Until you did," I said. "And when you did, we didn't know where to look." Jason now advocates for trip planning, gives talks at hiking clubs. He shows photos of himself in the hospital, gaunt, dehydrated, traumatized, and says, "This almost killed me. Not the broken ankle, the fact that no one knew where I was." The warning is simple. Tell someone where you're going and when you'll be back. Takes 2 minutes, could save your life. But people still don't do it. They think it won't happen to them. Jason thought that too. Warning 3. Bears are active. Make noise on the trail. Location: Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. Date: July 2018. Ranger: Linda Chen, 18 years service. The warning: bears are active in this area. Make noise while you hike. Talk, clap, use a bear bell. Do not hike quietly. You don't want to surprise a bear. Linda's account: people love nature. They want peaceful, quiet hikes. They want to experience the serenity of the wilderness, so they hike silently, trying not to disturb anything. And then they surprise a grizzly bear, and the bear does what bears do when startled. It defends itself. In July 2018, a woman named Emily Carter came to Yellowstone, solo hiker, photographer. She wanted to capture authentic wilderness photography. I briefed her at the trailhead for Mount Washburn. Grizzly activity is high right now. Make noise constantly. Don't want to surprise a bear. Carry bear spray, but noise is your first defense. Emily smiled politely and said, "I'll be quiet so I can photograph wildlife." I said, "That's the opposite of what you should do. If you're quiet, you will encounter a bear at close range. Make noise, the bear will avoid you." She said, "I've hiked bear country before. I know what I'm doing." Classic response. "I've done this before" translates to, "I've been lucky before, and I assume my luck will continue." Emily started hiking at 7 a.m., alone, quietly, trying to photograph marmots and elk. At 9:17 a.m., we got a distress call. Emily screaming, "Bear! It's attacking! Help!" Then the line went dead. We dispatched search and rescue immediately. Helicopter reached her location in 18 minutes. They found Emily on the trail, maybe 2 miles from the trailhead. She was conscious, sitting against a tree, covered in blood. Grizzly attack. Multiple lacerations to her arms, back, and scalp. Bites on her left shoulder. Right leg broken, probably from being knocked down. The bear had left. Probably ran off when it heard the helicopter. We extracted her immediately, medevac to the hospital in Cody. She survived, but required extensive surgery. Over 200 stitches. Permanent scarring. The leg break required multiple surgeries and months of physical therapy. When I visited her in the hospital 3 days later, she could barely speak, but she managed to say, "You told me, make noise. I didn't listen." According to her account, given to investigators later, she'd been hiking quietly, trying to spot wildlife for photos. She came around a bend in the trail and surprised a grizzly sow with 2 cubs, 20 feet away. The sow charged immediately. Emily didn't even have time to reach for her bear spray. The attack lasted maybe 20 seconds, but it felt like forever. Emily played dead, the right thing to do in a defensive grizzly attack, and the bear eventually stopped and left with her cubs. If Emily had been making noise, the bear would have heard her coming, would have moved her cubs away from the trail. The encounter never would have happened. But Emily wanted quiet, wanted to experience authentic wilderness. And she got it. She got a 400-pound grizzly sow defending her cubs. The warning isn't abstract, make noise. It's concrete. If you don't make noise, you will surprise a bear, and the bear will hurt you. Emily learned that the hard way. She doesn't hike alone anymore. She doesn't hike quietly. She uses 2 bear bells and talks to herself constantly on the trail. She tells other hikers, "I didn't listen to the ranger. I almost died because I wanted a quiet hike. But I still give this warning every single day." And every season, someone hikes quietly because they want peace and nature. And every season, at least one of them meets a bear they didn't want to meet. Warning 4. If you get lost, stay put. Location: Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Tennessee. Date: October 2021. Ranger: James Denton, 20 years service. The warning: if you get lost, stay put. Do not keep moving. Do not try to find your way back. You'll only get more lost. Stay where you are. make yourself visible, and wait for rescue. James's account. This is the hardest warning to follow because it goes against every instinct. You're lost. You're scared. Your brain says, move, find the trail, get yourself out. But moving when you're lost is the worst thing you can do. In October 2021, a hiker named Ryan Morgan got turned around on the Alum Cave Trail. Easy trail, well marked. But Ryan took what he thought was a shortcut and ended up off trail. When he realized he was lost, he did what most people do. He kept walking, trying to find his way back. I'd given Ryan this warning that morning at the visitor center. He'd asked about the trail, and I said, "It's well marked, but if you somehow get off trail and lose your way, stop, stay put, call for help or wait. Don't wander." Ryan nodded. Got it. At 4:30 p.m., Ryan's wife called us. He was supposed to be back by 3 p.m. No contact. She was worried. We started a search immediately. His GPS last pinged near Alum Cave, right where he should have been. We sent teams to that area. But Ryan wasn't there. Because Ryan had kept moving. For 5 hours, he'd walked deeper and deeper into the forest, thinking he was heading back to the trail. But every turn took him further away. By the time we found him, 11 hours later at 3 a.m., Ryan was 7 miles from where he'd first gotten lost. 7 miles in the wrong direction. He'd walked through dense forest, scrambled down ravines, crossed streams. He was exhausted, hypothermic, injured from multiple falls. When we reached him, he was sitting at the bottom of a ravine, unable to climb out, crying. I was on that search team. I asked him, "Why did you keep moving? Why didn't you stay put?" Ryan said, "I thought I could find my way back. I thought if I kept going, I'd hit the trail eventually." "You wouldn't have," I told him. "You were walking parallel to the trail. You walked 7 miles and never crossed it. If you'd stayed where you first realized you were lost, we'd have found you in 2 hours. Instead, it took 11. Ryan broke down. "I should have listened. You told me. Stay put. I didn't listen." The math is simple. If you're lost and you stay in one place, search teams know your last known location. They search outward from there in expanding circles. If you're stationary, they find you. If you keep moving, you're expanding the search area exponentially. You could be anywhere. The search becomes exponentially harder. Ryan's wife had to wait 11 hours wondering if her husband was alive. Ryan spent those hours terrified, exhausted, injured, lost, all because he didn't follow the simplest instruction. Stay put. I've worked 31 lost hiker searches in my career. The ones who stay put, we find them fast. Average rescue time, 3 to 4 hours. The ones who keep moving, average rescue time, 12 to 18 hours, sometimes days, sometimes never. There's a reason we give this warning. It's not because we think you're incapable. It's because human instinct to find your own way out actively works against your survival. Trust the rangers. Trust search and rescue. If you're lost, stop moving. We will find you. But you have to give us a stationary target. Warning 5. Cell service is unreliable. Carry emergency beacon. Location, Zion National Park, Utah. Date, June 2022. Ranger, Patricia Oakes, 16 years service. The warning. Cell service is unreliable in the canyon. Your phone may show bars, but calls often won't go through. If you're doing any technical hikes, carry a satellite communicator or personal locator beacon. Patricia's account. Everyone has a phone. Everyone thinks that's enough. I'll just call if there's an emergency. But in slot canyons, in deep wilderness, in areas with high rock walls, cell signals don't reach. Or they bounce weirdly off canyon walls, so your phone shows service, but you can't actually connect a call. In June 2022, a couple, Dan and Sarah, were hiking the Narrows in Zion. Popular hike, but dangerous when done incorrectly. I briefed them at the Riverside Walk trailhead. Flash flood danger is moderate today. Weather is unstable. If you hear thunder or see water rising, get to high ground immediately. Cell service in the canyon is almost non-existent. I strongly recommend a satellite communicator. Dan held up his phone. I have full bars right now. I said, you won't once you're a mile into the canyon. The walls are 1,000 feet high. Signal doesn't reach. If something happens, you won't be able to call for help. Sarah asked, should we rent a satellite device? Dan said, we'll be fine. It's a 5-hour hike. What's going to happen? Famous last words. They started hiking at 10 a.m. By noon, they were 3 miles into the canyon, deep in the Narrows, where the walls close in and you're walking in the Virgin River itself. At 12:45 p.m., Weather Service issued a flash flood warning. Thunderstorms upstream. Heavy rain. Flash flood risk for the Narrows. We immediately sent rangers into the canyon to warn hikers and evacuate, but the Narrows is 9 miles long. Getting to everyone takes time. At 1:15 p.m., the water started rising. Hikers near the entrance evacuated safely, but Dan and Sarah were too far in. By the time they realized the water was rising, it was moving too fast to walk against. Dan tried to call 911. His phone showed 1 bar of service. The call connected for 3 seconds, then dropped. He tried again, same result, partial connection, then nothing. They tried texting, messages wouldn't send. The water kept rising, from ankle deep to knee deep to waist deep in less than 10 minutes. Current getting stronger, impossible to walk. Dangerous to swim, debris in the water, flash flood currents are deadly. Dan and Sarah climbed onto a small ledge about 4 feet above the water. They were stranded. Water still rising, no way to call for help. They were stuck there for 4 hours. The water rose to within inches of their ledge. They thought they were going to die. At 5:30 p.m., after the flood receded enough to be safe, a rescue team reached them. They were hypothermic, terrified, traumatized. Sarah was crying. We tried to call. We couldn't get through. We tried so many times. I said, I know, that's why I told you to bring a satellite device. Cell phones don't work in the canyon. Dan said, we thought we'd be fine. We thought the cell service would work when we needed it. It never does, I said. That's why the warning exists. If they'd had a satellite communicator, they could have activated it the moment the water started rising. We could have helicoptered them out before it got dangerous. Or at minimum, we'd have known their exact location and status. Instead, they spent 4 hours thinking they were going to drown because they couldn't call for help. Cell phones are great, but they're not magic. They need infrastructure, towers, satellites, clear line of sight. In deep wilderness, that infrastructure doesn't exist. The warning is simple. If you're going somewhere remote, carry backup communication, satellite messenger, personal locator beacon. Something that works when your phone doesn't. But people don't want to spend the money, don't want to rent a device, don't think they'll need it. Dan and Sarah thought that too. Now they own a satellite communicator, they bring it on every hike. They tell other hikers, don't trust your phone, bring a backup. We almost died because we didn't. But I still see hikers every day ignoring this warning, waving their phones and saying, I've got service right now. And I think you won't have service when you need it. And by then it'll be too late. 5 rangers, 5 warnings, 5 accounts of hikers who didn't listen. Maria Santos, the weather changes fast up here. Mark and his group summited past noon, trapped in lightning storm for 3 hours. 1 person struck. Permanent nerve damage. Kevin Torres, file a trip plan. Jason hikes solo without telling anyone his route. Broke ankle, took 9 days to find him, almost died. Linda Chen, make noise on the trail. Emily hiked quietly to photograph wildlife. Surprised Grizzly with cubs, over 200 stitches, permanent scars. James Denton, if you're lost, stay put. Ryan kept walking, trying to find his way back. Got 7 miles more lost, 11-hour rescue instead of 2 hours. Patricia Oakes, carry emergency communication. Dan and Sarah trusted their cell phones. Flash flood trapped them. 4 hours stranded because they couldn't call for help. Every single one of these people said the same thing afterward. I should have listened to the ranger. Rangers aren't trying to scare you. They're not being overly cautious. They're not power tripping. They're trying to keep you alive. Because they've worked the searches. They've carried the bodies. They've sat in hospital rooms with people who are lucky to be alive. They've called families to tell them someone isn't coming home. Every warning comes from experience. Every protocol comes from incident reports. Every rule exists because someone before you didn't follow it, and something bad happened. So the next time a ranger gives you a warning, any warning, take it seriously, because that ranger has seen what happens when people don't. And they're giving you a chance not to become another story they tell, another rescue they work, another person who says, "Too late, I should have listened." Listen to the rangers. They know what they're talking about. Because they've seen what happens when you don't.